Hi, friends.
Today I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. On a Tuesday, I got an invitation in the mail. It was printed on fancy cream paper with gold letters. It was for the Morrison family's yearly reunion. As I touched the raised writing, memories of past embarrassment with my family came flooding back. My name is Olivia Morrison, but in the business world, I go by Liv Carter. 10 years ago, I was seen as the family failure. I had left our wealthy family's banking business to follow my dream of working in hotels. They thought it was a silly idea. Then my phone rang. It was my cousin Diana. I knew exactly why she was calling. "Olivia," she said in her overly sweet voice, "I assume you got the invite." I did. "Well, dear, maybe you should skip the reunion this year. It's at the Starlight Grand. Very exclusive, expensive dress code, and all that." I looked out the window of my Manhattan office and smiled to myself. What she didn't know was that the Starlight Grand was my hotel, my pride and joy. And she had no clue that LC Hotels, the fast-growing luxury hotel chain, was owned by me, the cousin they looked down on. "Are you saying I can't afford it, Diana?" "Don't be silly. It's just, we'll have important people there. The governor, CEOs. We don't want anyone to feel out of place." She really meant herself. She didn't want her rich friends to know her cousin worked in hotels. "I see," I said calmly. "Who picked the venue?" "I did," she said proudly. "Dad says I have great taste. The Starlight Grand is the best hotel in Manhattan. It was hard to book it, but I managed." I almost laughed. She didn't pull any strings. Her request had come in like any other guests. I personally approved it, and even charged them a special rate, 30% higher than usual. "That must have been tough," I said. "Well, not everyone has my connections. The owner, LC Carter, is private, but the staff was helpful once they heard the Morrison name." Of course they were. I told them to be. "Interesting," I said. "Anyway," she went on, "maybe next year if your situation gets better. Are you still working at that little hotel in Brooklyn?" That little hotel was where I tested the ideas that made LC Hotels famous. But no one in the family paid attention to my career anymore. "Something like that," I said. After hanging up, I leaned back in my chair and thought about how far I'd come. 10 years ago, I was fresh out of Cornell's hotel school. I wanted to learn everything from the ground up. My family had been shocked. "At the hotel clerk?" My father had yelled. "No daughter of mine will wear a name tag." But I stayed with it, working every job from cleaning rooms to running the front desk. I learned everything. Within 3 years, I opened my first LC hotel. Now, at 32, I own 17 luxury hotels across 3 continents. The Starlight Grand in Manhattan was my best one. The same family who once made fun of me now thought it was a huge honor to have a reunion there. My phone buzzed. A text from my assistant, Marcus. "The Morrison family reunion contract needs your signature. Shall I bring it up?" I smiled and typed back, "No need. I have plans for this one." I opened my laptop and began planning. If they thought I didn't belong because I wasn't rich enough, they were in for a big surprise. The Starlight Grand was about to host a reunion they'd never forget. As I worked, old memories came back. Every rude comment, every time I was ignored, every event where they sat me far from the important people. Diana's wedding 3 years ago was the worst. She made me sit with the catering staff and told people it was because I'd be more comfortable with my own kind. At that time, I already owned 12 hotels, but they never cared enough to find out. My sister Meline was the only one in the family who stayed in touch with me, though even she didn't know how successful I had become. She called while I was finishing up some important planning. "Liv," she said, "Diana just called me. She said you were uninvited from the reunion." "I'm so sorry." "Don't worry," I said, signing the final document. "Actually, I need a favor. Can you make sure everyone arrives exactly at 7 p.m.? It's important."
Why?
"What are you planning?" "Let's just say Diana isn't the only one who knows people at the Starlight Grand." The next 2 weeks flew by as I got everything ready. I personally oversaw the planning. Food, flowers, decorations, everything. My family wanted luxury. I was going to give them a night to remember. The night before the reunion, I stood in the hotel's beautiful lobby, watching my team make sure every detail was perfect. The chandeliers sparkled, and the floors were shining. Everything looked amazing. Marcus, my assistant, came over with his tablet.
All set, he said.
The special sign will be revealed at 7:15 p.m. Are you sure about this? I nodded, remembering Diana's rude phone call, and all the years my family made me feel small. Very sure. I can't wait to welcome them to my hotel. I smiled, already imagining the looks on their faces when they found out the truth. At 6:45 p.m. on the night of the reunion, I stood in my private office at the top of the hotel, watching the guests arrive on the security screens. They came and dressed in fancy clothes, wearing expensive jewelry, all trying to impress each other. Diana walked in wearing a designer dress, bossing the staff around like she owned the place. My dad pulled up in his Bentley, followed by other relatives in luxury cars, people I hadn't seen in years. Everything's ready, Marcus said. The staff knows what to do. Should I have security ready? I shook my head. No need. The Morrisons care too much about their image to cause a scene. I smoothed my custom-made suit and watched as the family gathered in the grand ballroom. Diana was near the champagne fountain, bragging about how she booked the hotel. My dad chatted with other business people. Everyone was showing off. At 7:10 p.m., the hotel manager walked up to Diana and quietly said, "Ms. Morrison, there's been a small issue with the reservation." Diana frowned. What kind of issue? I arranged everything through your corporate office. Yes, ma'am. But the owner has some special requests for tonight. Diana laughed. I doubt L.C. Carter cares about one family event. Now, if you'll excuse me. Actually, I said, stepping into the ballroom. L.C. Carter cares about a lot. The room fell silent. Everyone turned to stare. There I was, the black sheep of the family, standing proudly in the grandest hotel in Manhattan, wearing a suit worth more than Diana's car. Olivia, my father said, shocked. What are you doing here? She said I couldn't afford to come, I said calmly, walking into the center of the room. She thought I'd embarrass the family. Diana stormed toward me, red with anger. This is a private event. I'll have security remove you. No, I said firmly. You won't. Right then, Marcus tapped his tablet. A huge screen lit up behind the stage with the hotel's logo, and below it, my full name. Olivia Morrison Carter, founder and CEO, LC Hotels International. Everyone in the ballroom gasped. Diana dropped her champagne glass, and it shattered on the marble floor. That can't be true, she said, her voice shaking. Would you like to see my business card? I asked with a smile. Or maybe the ownership papers. I've got them right here. I tapped the leather folder I was carrying. My father pushed through the crowd toward me. His face looked shocked, and maybe even a little proud. You own this hotel? And 16 more around the world, he asked. I nodded. This one's special, though. It's where I started as a junior housekeeper, while all of you were busy laughing at me for choosing hospitality. Memories rushed back, Diana teasing me about my name tag, my aunts whispering I'd wasted my potential, my cousins cutting me out of family photos because I didn't fit in. All those years, I continued, loud enough for everyone to hear, you were so busy looking down on me that you never noticed what I was building. That little hotel in Brooklyn Diana jokes about? It's where we created the systems that changed the luxury hotel world. Marcus stepped forward and handed out folders to some family members. These explain the real story of LC Hotels, he said, along with details about your booking tonight. Diana grabbed hers with shaking hands. Her eyes widened as she read through it. This rate. It's about 30% higher than our usual, I said. Call it a reverse family discount. From somewhere in the crowd, my sister Meline burst out laughing. A few others chuckled awkwardly, unsure if it was okay to laugh. Why didn't you ever tell us? My dad asked. Would you have believed me? I replied. 10 years ago, you told me no daughter of yours would ever work in a hotel. I smiled. You were half right. I don't work in hotels. I own them. Just then, screens around the room lit up, showing photos of my hotels. A beach resort in the Maldives, a snowy mountain lodge in Switzerland, a glittering skyscraper in Dubai. As for tonight's event, I said, your booking is still valid. You're all welcome to stay. I've even arranged a special tour. I think it's time you saw what customer service really looks like. Diana stepped forward, trying to keep her cool. Olivia, I held up a hand. We don't know each other. At least, not the way you think. You meant every rude comment and every snub. And that's fine. While you were trying to impress people, I was building something real. I turned to the room. Welcome to the Starlight Grand. My team will show you to your upgraded suites, though Diana's room had to be downgraded due to a VIP booking. The message was clear. She'd be staying in the same kind of room she once mocked me for cleaning. As the staff let everyone out, my dad stayed behind. I was wrong, he said quietly. About all of it. I looked at him, noticing, for the first time, how unsure he seemed. Yes, you were. But do you want to know the best part about owning 17 hotels? I asked. He raised an eyebrow. I have 17 presidential suites. You can use one while you figure out how to make things right. He smiled just a little. Where did you learn to negotiate like that? Same place I learned about hospitality, starting at the bottom and working my way up. Something this family never understood. Later that night, after the tours were over and everyone had gone to their rooms, Diana's being the smallest, I stood in my penthouse, looking out at the city lights. Marcus walked in with a report. Your family's pretty quiet tonight, he said. I laughed. Funny what a little truth can do. Did you see Diana's face when she realized her room has no view? Are you going to tell them about the Paris and Tokyo projects? I smiled, thinking of the contracts on my desk. The Starlight Grand was just the beginning. Let's save something for next year's reunion. Good hoteliers know how to keep people coming back. As I looked out over the skyline, I thought about everything it took to get here. This moment wasn't about revenge. It was about proving to myself that I was right to follow my dreams. And sometimes, the best kind of payback isn't cold. It comes with an upgrade and a killer view. My phone buzzed. A text from Diana. Can we talk tomorrow, please? I typed back. Of course. Your breakfast reservation is at 9 a.m. I own that restaurant, too. Because sometimes, the real luxury isn't in the sheets or the chandelier. It's in finally being seen for who you really are.